We are all aware of the ongoing developments in our neighboring region. While one may say that such event was inevitable as the advance was seen from some time, but the curious speed with which the circumstances unfolded surprised us all. And if one is to honestly admit anything that one says is mere speculation and based on one's own degree of understanding of the issue, every nation is watching and assessing the situation there, and as a result, still there has been no international consensus on the situation that unfolds in Afghanistan. But where international and national leaders must carefully weigh the situation arising there to form their own national policies to secure their own national interests, we as students must examine the situation as we know it and try to understand the implications in and around and formulate our responses accordingly. As of today, the circumstantial reality is that Afghanistan is under Taliban control. The Afghan government has surrendered state power to Taliban, and all matters of state power vest with the Taliban leadership. This is one aspect of it, and there is no denying the fact. The other aspect are what follows, and here it gets interesting for the students of this subject. We all are aware of and can sense the chaos and confusion that is among Afghans regarding their future, and also the state of caution among Asian countries. I am sure, and it is obvious, that powers that be in our nation are studying and observing the Afghan situation as it unfolds. And let me interest you further, these powers are observing and assessing the Afghan situation in a good light, in a good positive light. The only cause of concern for the Asian countries in Taliban takeover of the Afghanistan is Taliban's connection with extremism and extremist organizations throughout the world. Countries in extreme neighboring of the Afghanistan are concerned spread of extremist actions to their territories, wherein such emotions can be exploited by certain elements. This concern is well justified, as Taliban until now up to recent past was involved in terror activities, which is very well documented. But while now the aim of Taliban state is achieved, if Taliban well addresses and assures its neighboring states that the relation between these Taliban and other states will be mutual cordial state-to-state relation, we may witness these states recognizing Taliban as a state, which is a welcome step for the stability of our region. I accept this scenario unfolding in future, as it is also indicated by the statements from Taliban spokesperson and statements from various foreign ministries, including our own. The Taliban situation has implications for all of us, and its implications are different. What does it hold for Afghan people? Well, even the wisest cannot say. What it will achieve for the generations of Afghan to come in future, and staying in a different country, we can advise nothing. Just a thought of solidarity, that you people have suffered a lot at the hands of Western crime lords, and now that you have humiliated them with the will of Rabb, all that remains now is you and your countrymen, brothers in race and religion. Give your country the healing it deserves. Give yourself the healing it deserves. We wish you peace and stability as a nation. What does Afghan situation hold in for our nation? I, as a casual citizen, am not aware of what policy decisions happen in the power corridors of our national capital. But one interprets as one reads and observes. I am sure that our powers are engaging in positive light to the Afghan situation. Our state has always had great relations with Afghan people and have always supported their right to the government system of their choice. Our foreign policy on Afghanistan has always maintained an independent approach and somewhat divergent approach from European and Western policy. Given the present unpredictable scenario, the mentioned subject of our concern remains a major question. Given that Taliban assures our interests remain safe, these two nations can be seen having cordial state-to-state relations in future with each other. I am certain that our power hierarchy recognizes this scenario and may have already begun back channels to secure our national interests and interests of our Afghan brothers. One thing that concerns me is the TRP bias of media towards Taliban. that propagates fear in the citizens of this country, causing great disservice to country. What does the Afghan takeover by Taliban mean to Kashmir? Well, this is the most sensitive question to answer here, and not elaborating the answer would be justified at this time. One can hear talks of some dreaming the same happening in Kashmir, and some voices are very cautious of the emerging situation, and some observe it in silence. All I want to convey to you is what happened in Afghanistan, if it happens in Kashmir, will only create fasad, will give rise to fasad. Our backgrounds and circumstances are totally different. Some would want to exploit the situation that our emotions run high at this time. Some emotions, I say. But Afghan and Kashmir situations are very much different. And I can give you an example. It is like two bottles, one of carbonated soft drink and another of a mineral water. Shaking both similarly will not provide similar results. We should not worry about how Afghan rebuild their nation. We should support them definitely. But our main goal should be how we proceed towards our future by securing what is best for us and our future generations with minimum risk of furthering instability in our region. Well, the geopolitical implications are the most important topic I want to convey to you. Imagine Taliban declares Islamic Emirate, assuring its neighbor from all sides safety of their interests. It secures support of these nations in recognizing Islamic Emirate as a Taliban state. Imagine all this happening, and I suppose this will happen in near future, provided that the Afghan and Taliban reach an agreement to avoid civil unrest. Now observe the process. Take note of the background of Taliban as international media has portrayed it and as we know it. Take note of the struggle, the fight for 20 years with Afghan and NATO in war or terror, basically portraying Taliban as a terror organization. Also take note of the manner of Afghan takeover by Taliban. There was no proper transfer of power, but capture and escape. Now take note that this behavior of takeover and state so established, getting international recognition as a valid and lawful state. I do not want you to take sides for the better understanding of this implication here. We do not conclude whether the process is right or wrong, but we are trying to understand the process and its implications. The behavior of takeover, and states so established by Taliban and getting recognition for that state. This, my brothers and sisters, sets a precedent in political and international law. Setting a precedent gives impetus to the future aspirations of nations and societies. One major implication that we are bound to see, among many others, good and bad, is something I will not tell out loud, but will hint it out to you. Those who have the mental faculty of thinking will get it eventually. Let me formulate it in a question, as a question to you. Why in a region where one nation is an Islamic republic, one nation a communist state, in a region where one nation is an extremist Buddhist nation, and one nation a grand Christian Orthodox state, in a region where one state overthrows its elected government and establishes Islamic Emirate on military might, why would in this region, why would a country that has huge demand for a religious state from its citizens continue to follow secular agenda? How long would it take the leadership to realize that they are the only secular country in the region? Now that the president has been set and recognized internationally. This will be the major implication of what has happened that we are bound to see in near future. But we believe whatever happens is already decreed, and whatever happens for a purpose, a good one. I will end this conversation with an appeal to the government that from some days we have been seeing the videos and hearing news that our own nationals, Kashmiri brothers, are stuck in Afghanistan asking for evacuation. We request Government of India (GOI) to evacuate Kashmiris and other citizens from that part and prepare for their safety back home. Prepare for the safety of our brothers that are stuck in Afghanistan and bring them back home. It is the duty government has to people. They shall be brought back home safely without any delay. I thank you all for your time and indulgence in this conversation. I hope it reaches you as I mean it to be. Thank you.